Gresham, one of my buddies from Supreme Lending, and I help people buy and sell real estate. And one of the first things that always comes up, people are wondering what kind of financing is out there, do I qualify, what are my different options? And that's where someone like Jeff comes in. Jeff has a ton of experience helping people qualify and get loans to buy the property that they're looking at. And so, Jeff, what do you say to people when people ask you those questions?
Well, Dan, the first step that buyers should take when they're looking for real estate is to find out what the financing structure can be. How much is it going to take to get in? Can they qualify? Just to know, what does the picture look like for properties that they may be looking at, whether they be owner-occupied properties, investment properties, multi-unit properties. So the first step is to look at the financing. So what we do is we sit down, talk about what it is that they're trying to do, find out what their plans are, and then we develop some structures to help them accomplish the goals that they're looking at right then when they're working with you to purchase the properties that they're looking for. It definitely is an individualized type financing structure based on the goal of the financing that they're looking for, and how they want to structure things within their budget, within their P&Ls if it's a business. But anyway, the very first thing is to sit down and talk about what their goals are and what their plans are.
Yeah, so it's really based on a needs basis. Talk to them, it's nuanced, so everybody's different. Everybody has a different scenario, different things that they're trying to accomplish. And so, one of the types of clients that I work with is someone who's looking to buy a home for the first time. So they might be family who is looking to move from renting to buying. What do you talk about to someone who's looking to buy their home for the first time?
Well, again, it starts off with the very same questions. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a move-up buyer, an investor with multiple properties, it all comes down to what are your goals right now?
Yeah.
And we start there. And then depending on what that goal is, then we can start laying out what are the options that are available to them. In the scenario that you're talking about right now, Dan, as a first-time home buyer, there's multiple options that we can look at. Usually a first-time home buyer is somebody that hasn't saved or doesn't have the resources to come in with a 20% down payment or a large down payment, or have all the closing costs already set aside, but they have the ability to qualify in terms of their monthly payment. So we can talk about first-time home buyers programs that may make assistance available for part of the down payment, some or all of the down payment, some or all of the closing costs, and again, just structure things around what their financing picture looks like. So we would sit down, work those options out, and then just look those over and help them decide which is going to be the best way for them to go. And once we qualify them and they understand what their budget is and what they're qualified for, then the next step, as always, is to reconnect with you and go out and start working on finding their dream home.
There you go. So they might not, so if I'm hearing you correctly, someone might not have thousands of dollars saved up, tens of thousands of dollars saved up to take care of that 20% payment on the home, but that's okay because you could work with them, work within their budget. They're probably already spending money on rent, so housing is already included in their budget, and there's loan solutions that you have for someone like that.
Absolutely, that's absolutely correct.
And Jeff, you talked about different types of loans that are out there. What are some of the different solutions that could be a good fit for someone looking to buy a home?
So there's multiple options for financing, depending on what your individual situation is. Whether you're a veteran that qualifies for a VA loan with no down payment required, or you're a first-time home buyer that may be able to use an FHA with what we would call USDA or Cal HFA. These are different types of programs that are available that can assist with down payment, or even a low down payment conventional loan that's identified as a first-time home buyer program as well. So within the parameters of being a first-time home buyer, there are multiple options that can be applied to your specific situation to help you get into a property with minimal out of pocket, if that's the direction that we need to go.
Definitely. Well, minimal out of pocket, I think, is the direction a lot of people want to go, especially if they're buying a home for the first time.
Right.
So Jeff, a minute ago when you were talking about VA loans, you said something that caught my attention, and it was about the minimal closing costs for that loan. What do you mean by that?
So for VA, Dan, the structure for a VA can be zero out of pocket, and the way that works for a veteran, a qualified veteran, would be that there's no down payment required on a VA loan, and it's completely acceptable for a seller to pick up all of the closing costs. So they're therefore creating a loan for a qualified veteran that would allow them to get into a home loan or a home purchase with zero out of pocket.
Wow. If you're a veteran, you could definitely take advantage of the seller paying closing costs, and with that type of loan, it really minimizes the money that they have to pay out of pocket.
Exactly right.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love to take care of our veterans.
That's the right thing to do.
Right.
It's only fair. Well, that's great to know. If you're a veteran, there's definitely some solutions out there for you. And I know you're also working with a lot of investors.
Right.
You know, a lot of people are looking at Merced as a great place to invest and buy real estate. What types of conversations or what solutions do you have for people who are looking to buy investment property?
Great question. So investment properties, you're right, Dan. We do have a lot of investors coming into our area because of the UC Merced, and there's a lot of demand for housing for the UC students. So we do quite a few investor loans, and so basically those are that's what we would call conventional financing.
Got it.
So it's a little bit of a different financing structure for them.
Okay.
It requires a little bit more of a down payment because it's not your primary residence, and so it has a little bit of a unique financing structure. So we really have to get with the investor early in the stage so that we can look at their financials, let them know ahead of time, how they can structure the financing on that, get them pre-qualified so that they can go out and look at the investment properties that that you've got available for them.
That makes sense. So a little bit of a different process, different loan, but there's definitely a way to help them. And what are some of the things that they're looking at when they're talking to you about conventional loans?
So Dan, for investment buyers, we're looking at a bigger picture for them. Do they own other investment properties? What are their cash flows on those investment properties? What will the cash flow be on the on the property that they're looking at? So it definitely is more of a detailed transaction, and their other investments definitely will come into the picture in terms of their ability to qualify and purchase new properties. So again, even as with first-time home buyers, we want to get in with them early in the process, and we're really the first step in that process as well. Just like any other financing, we want to take a look at the qualifying process for them first, so that they know when they go out with you, they've already got their financing put together. They know what the picture looks like for the cash that they're going to need to come into the transaction with, what the cash flow is going to be on the property. So just as in any financing scenario, we want to connect with them first.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're really looking at their entire portfolio, all of their finances. That's a part of the qualifying process.
Right.
And then by talking to you first on the front end of looking for property, that gives them buying power, and it helps the process go smoother.
Exactly. Because once they have their financing in place, when they do find the property that they're looking for, they're ready to make the offer.
Yeah.
They don't have to make the offer contingent on qualifying. They've already qualified. So it makes their offer stronger. Their offer can go in sooner, faster, and get in ahead of anybody else that may be looking at the same property without delay, because they've already taken care of the financing portion of it up front.
Yeah, that could be the difference between getting the offer accepted or maybe someone else getting that property and missing out.
Exactly.
And then, I know a lot of investors that I talk to, some of them are local, but a lot of them are out of town. when they, in order for someone to connect with you, do they have to come to town, or are you able to talk to them over the phone, do it virtually? How do they complete that process?
So the great thing about technology, Dan, is we can do everything remotely. Location is not an issue. We can do everything over the phone, online, and it's not a problem. We can have them pre-qualified and ready to go before they even come into town for the first time.
That's great. Whatever works for them, pick up their iPhone,
right?
Call, text, FaceTime.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So in summary, Dan, really the bottom line is get the financing in place first, so that when you do show them properties right in the beginning, they're ready to make an offer as soon as they find the property that they're looking for, without any delays in having to be qualified, contingent on the offer. Get the financing set up first, and the rest takes care of itself.
That makes sense. Start at the right place, get your financing taken care of, and then that opens the door for them to buy their property, and you're here to help.
Exactly.
So thanks for taking time to talk with us today. Thanks for all of your knowledge, expertise, everything that you shared with us. Thanks for sharing all your best practices and insight about lending. That's definitely going to help some people. We'll make sure to put your information out in this video so people know how to get a hold of you. If you're watching this and you have additional questions, get a hold of Jeff or myself. We're here to help you. We work together as a team. If there's anything that we didn't talk about that you'd like us to cover, let us know. We want to have that conversation and continue to give you tools, resources, make videos that are going to bring value to you. If this video brought value to you, be sure to like the video, share it with people, subscribe to the channel so that when we put more information out, you're going to be one of the first ones to see that. And we'll see you soon.